Good morning. This is Sujata, Assistant Professor in Botany, Government Degree College, Women's Karimnagar. Today, I am going to give a lecture on DNA structure and function. DNA, it is genetic material which transfers the information from generation to generation. DNA acts as genetic material in all living organisms except some virus which attack on plants. So it plays an important role in hereditary. So when we see the components of DNA, it is a long chain of polymer composed of monomeric units called nucleotides. Each nucleotide consists of a nucleotide, nucleoside. Nucleoside means sugar and base, that is nitrogen base, combinedly we called as nucleoside. And a phosphate group. Here, nucleoside plus phosphate group combinedly we call nucleotides. So nucleotides means sugar, base, that is nitrogen base, and phosphate group. And sugar plus nitrogen base, these both combinedly we called as nucleoside. So this DNA, it consists of nucleotides. So in these nucleotides, that is nitrogen bases, sugar, that is deoxyribose sugar, and phosphate groups are present. So nitrogen bases, these nitrogen bases are two types, that is purines and pyrimidines. So when we see the purines are two, that is adenine and guanine. Pyrimidines are two, thymine and uracil. So these are the structure of purines. Purines are the adenine and guanine. These purines are made up of two rings. They contain a 6-membered benzene ring and 5-membered imidazole ring. Next, these are the structure of pyrimidines. Pyrimidines are three: thymine, cytosine, and uracil. Thymine, cytosine, these two pyrimidines present in DNA. Uracil present in RNA. So these pyrimidines, they contain a single ring. This single ring, that is benzene ring, consists of 6-carbon ring. These pyrimidines are two types, those are thymine and cytosine. Next component in the DNA, deoxyribose sugar. This deoxyribose sugar, it is a furanose ring form and it consists of 5 carbon atoms. So that's why this sugar is called as pentose sugar. On deoxyribose sugar, the second carbon atom in the ring is devoid of oxygen. There is no oxygen on second carbon. So that's why This structure is called as deoxyribose sugar. Next component in DNA is the phosphoric acid. This phosphoric acid contains the 3 hydrogen atoms and 1 phosphorus atom. So when we see the structure of DNA, it has the 2 strands that twist into the shape of a spiral ladder called double helix. DNA is made up of 4 building blocks called nucleotides. Those are deoxy adenine monophosphate, deoxyguanine monophosphate, deoxycytosine monophosphate, and deoxythymine monophosphate. So this DNA is made up of these 4 building blocks. These monomeric units join each other with phosphodiester bond between 3' hydroxyl of nucleotide and 5' phosphate group of adjacent nucleotide. Watson Crick. These are both scientists' name. These 2 scientists, they described the structure of DNA. So according to those, the DNA is right-handed double helix. It consists of the 2 chains. Those are polydeoxyribonucleotide chains. These 2 chains are twisted around one another in a right-handed double helix. So the backbone of DNA, it consists of the sugar and phosphate bases. So these bases are perpendicular to helix axis at 90 degrees to the axis of DNA, these nitrogen bases. So the sugar and phosphates, they constitute the backbone of the DNA structure. Sugars nearly at right angles. So the backbone has a net negative charge. So the DNA has a negative charge. So these are the scientists are James Watson and Francis Crick. These scientists, they got Nobel Prize in 1962 for explaining the structure of DNA. So this is the image of the DNA, double helix DNA. It consists of the 2 complementary chains of nucleotides. The 2 strands of DNA run in opposite directions to each other and are thus anti-parallel. So the nitrogen bases which are present in the perpendicular to the axis of DNA, they combine following the Chargaff's rule. So the interaction of 2 strands with purines and pyrimidines. So purines are 2, that is adenine and guanine. Pyrimidines are 2, cytosine and thymine. So always adenine, it is a purine, pairs with thymine, it is a pyrimidine. And guanine, it is a purine, always pairs with cytosine, it is a pyrimidine. So always one purine pairs with one pyrimidine. There is a 1:1 ratio. One is purine present, then compulsory one pyrimidine is present. So the base pairing is always follow the Chargaff's rule. That is 1:1 ratio. One purine is present, then compulsory one pyrimidine is present. So this Chargaff's rule maintains the complementarities of the two strands, and A always equals to T. That is adenine always equals to T. That means how many adenine molecules bases are present, then the same number of thymine bases are present. Like that, cytosine always equals to guanine. That means if there are 10 cytosine nitrogen bases are present, so compulsory 10 guanine bases are present. That is equal number of purines and pyrimidines. That is 1:1 ratio. So this is the Chargaff's rule. So the base pairing of nitrogen bases according to Chargaff's rule. So this is the base pairing of DNA and the backbone of deoxyribose sugar and phosphoric acid. So according to Chargaff's, there is a 1:1 ratio of the purines and pyrimidines. At the first, guanine, it is combines with cytosine. Always between the cytosine and guanine, there is a triple hydrogen bond is there. And thymine combines with adenine with double hydrogen bond. So there is a triple hydrogen bond between the cytosine and guanine, and a double hydrogen bond between the thymine and adenine. So there is a equal ratio of the purines and pyrimidine. In the first cytosine and guanine, next thymine and adenine. So there is a 1:1 ratio of the purines and pyrimidines according to Chargaff's rule. So hydrogen bonding. So previous I told no, DNA, it stands held together the hydrogen bonds. The two strands they held with the help of these hydrogen bonds which are present between the nitrogen bases. So two hydrogen bonds are present between the adenine and thymine, and three hydrogen bonds present between the cytosine and guanine. So this cytosine and guanine, it consists of the three hydrogen bonds. So it is stronger than the double bond which is present between the adenine and thymine. So this is the structure of the DNA, how the base pairing and where the phosphoric acid are binding with the deoxyribose sugar. So in the middle, nitrogen bases are there. That is one purine binds with one pyrimidine. In the first adenine, it is a purine having the two rings, and it combining with the thymine with the double hydrogen bond. And here there are the two strands are there. These two strands are anti-parallel to each other. So one strand starts with the 5 prime and ends with the 3 prime. And next another strand, it starts with the 3 prime and ends with the 5 prime. So each end of the DNA, these numbers 5 prime and 3 prime are present. So these 5 prime and 3 prime which are present at the end of the DNA, they refer the number of carbon atom in a deoxyribose sugar molecule to which a phosphate group binds. If the phosphate group binds at the 5 carbon of deoxyribose sugar, then it is called the 5 prime. If a phosphate group binds 3 carbon of deoxyribose sugar, then it is called the 3 prime. So depending on which carbon the phosphoric binds with the deoxyribose sugar, so that carbon number we call the 5 prime and 3 prime. So one strand consisting the 5 prime to 3 prime, and next another strand, it starts with the 3 prime to and ends with the 5 prime. So these two strands are anti-parallel to each other. So there are some types of DNA are there. Nearly there are 6 types of DNA, but among these, B form of DNA is most common in nature. So these different types of DNA, they have the different properties, having the nitrogen bases at each helix, and having the right-handed or left-handed, and having the number of base pairs in each turn, and length of the each turn, and diameter of the helix, and having the major and minor grooves. So all these properties, they show different characters. So B form of DNA, this is most common occurring DNA form. So the Watson-Crick, they defined or they explained the structure of this B form DNA, and it is most stable structure under any physiological condition. And this B form DNA, it follows the Chargaff's rule, that is 1:1 ratio of the purines and pyrimidines. And each turn has a pitch of 3.4 nm with 10 base pairs. That means each turn it consists of the 10 nitrogen base pairs, and each base pair has a pitch of 0.34 nm. And this is the image of B form DNA, that is a double helix model of DNA. And Z form DNA. Z form means it is a zigzag DNA. It is the helix is not correct. It is not truly helical structure, and it is left-handed helix with 12 base pairs for each turn. B form consists of the 10 base pairs. The Z form consists of the 12 base pairs for each helix. And repeating units is a dinucleotide made up of purine and pyrimidine rather than mononucleotides. And there are no major true grooves. And the minor groove is very deep and narrow. There are no true groups of major and minor. And the methylation of cytosine promotes the zDNA formation. So this is unfavorable according to thermodynamical. The exact function or role of zDNA is unknown. It may be involved in regulation or gene expression, but confirmly it does not the function of this zDNA. And the functions of DNA. The main function of the DNA is it plays an important role in the hereditary. That means it transfers the genetic information from one generation to next generation. And also it plays an important role in identity of different species of organisms over millions of years. And also it maintains cellular function. The total functions of the cell, it controlled by this DNA. And also DNA is organized into genes. DNA means it consists of the genes. The genes only consist of the genetic information. And the main functions of the DNA are the main functions two, that is autocatalysis and heterocatalysis. Autocatalysis means that the replication of DNA. One molecule of DNA, it produces the two molecules of the DNA. So this is called the replication. So the production of the DNA molecules, two daughter DNA molecules from the one molecule of parent DNA. So that is called the replication. During the cell division, that is during the interphase, S phase, the replication of the DNA takes place. So one from the parent DNA to daughter DNA molecules produced. So this is called the autocatalysis, that is the main function of the DNA. And the second function of the DNA, that is the heterocatalysis, that is the formation of the proteins. So in this, the central dogma, in this, the RNA formation takes place from DNA using DNA one strand as a template. The RNA synthesis takes place using the enzyme RNA polymerase. So this process we called as the transcription. So the formation of RNA, that is mRNA, from the DNA using the enzyme RNA polymerase. So this is called the transcription. Later, this RNA, it consists of the genetic information of DNA in the form of triplet codons. So depending on these triplet codons which are present in the RNA, the amino acids come and join with peptide bonds and form the protein molecule. So this process we called as the translation. So transcription and translation, these are present in the production of the protein. So this is the another function of the DNA, that is called the heterocatalysis, synthesis of proteins. So this protein synthesis takes place in the ribosomes. Next, the higher organization of the DNA in the cell. The DNA mainly present in the nucleus, that is the brain of the cell. Nucleus is the brain of the cell. So the total DNA, it is coiled and present in the nucleus. So the process of the organization of DNA requires histones. If we take outside the DNA, it is much longer than the organism. So it is coiled and present inside the nucleus with the help of the histone proteins. So DNA wraps twice around a histone octamer to form nucleosomes. This is a spherical particle of 10 nm diameter. So the importance of nucleosome is to condense the DNA and to stabilize the DNA. So with the help of these histone proteins, the DNA condenses and it organizes into the nucleus. This is the nucleosome structure. Each nucleosome is a disc-shaped structure consisting of histone proteins. The disc consists of two copies of histone proteins. Those histone proteins are four types. Those are H2A, H2B, H3, H4. So these four histone proteins present in two copies. Thus, 8 histone it contains. So these 8 histone proteins are called octamer. So these octamer the 8 histone proteins, they form a core of the disc. The double-stranded DNA makes 2 complete turns around the histone octamer disc. Here at the core place, 8 histone proteins are present. Around these 8 histone proteins, the double helix DNA, it makes the 2 complete turns around the histone octamer disc. These 2 turns are tightly held by H1 histone protein. The 2 turns of DNA which wounds the disc generally contains 146 nitrogen base pairs. So these nucleosomes, when we see under the microscope, these appear like beads on a long chain. So these histone proteins, they play an important role in packing the DNA molecules. The DNA strand connecting the adjacent nucleosomes is called a linker DNA. There are nearly, in this image, there are nearly 5 nucleosomes are there. So between the 2 nucleosomes, a DNA part is present. This DNA, it generally consists of the 54 nitrogen bases. So the DNA part which connects the 2 nucleosomes is called as linker DNA. Thus, nearly every 200 nitrogen bases pairs of nucleotides, a nucleosome is repeated. So there are many nucleosomes. These are all nucleosomes. When we see under the microscope, it looks like a beads on a chain. So for every 200 nitrogen base pairs of nucleotides, a nucleosome is repeated. So between the nucleosomes, the DNA, that is linker DNA is present. This linker DNA connects the all nucleosomes. So a group of nucleosomes further form DNA fibrils. So there are many nucleosomes are present in the DNA. So a group of nucleosomes, they form a DNA fibrils. So 6 DNA fibrils further supercoiled to form chromatin fibrils or chromatin threads. So these coiling is stabilized by histone proteins. So these chromatin fibers further supercoil to form chromosomes. So this is the solenoid structure of nucleosome. In metaphase and interphase nuclei, the much coiled chromatin is in the form of fiber which is 30 micrometers in diameter. This fiber consists of closely packed nucleosomes. It arises from the folding of nucleosome containing chromatin into much more coiled structures called solenoid. In this 6 nucleosomes per 1 turn present. Such many closely coiled solenoid structures packs the entire DNA of the chromosome. So chromosome consists 8,000 to 10,000 folds of DNA. The human diploid genome consists of 7 into 109 base pairs. The end of DNA molecule is 2 meters long. But this 2 meters long DNA is supercoiled with the help of the histone proteins and it present in the within the nucleus. So in this DNA total, only 90% DNA is inactive, where the histones and other specific proteins helps in the inactivation process and differentiation. Only 1 to 2% of DNA contains the genes. Thank you.